Episode 8 of Melo movie begins from Mubai's perspective, revealing how she had always felt secondary to her father's career and interests. Yet, despite her naturally unromantic personality, she found herself drawn to romance films, captivated by how they explore the idea of love. In the present, Mubai and Ko Jae-am spend more time together, going on dates and meeting often. But beneath it all, Ko Jae-am is silently struggling to process his brother's death. His friends try to be there for him, keeping him company as much as possible, except for Si-jun, who keeps his distance, unsure of how to comfort Ko Jae-am without saying something wrong. Meanwhile, Mubai and Ju-ae continue working on their film project, just as Ko Jae-am visits director Ma, who subtly tries to console him in his own way. Later that night, Ju-ae visits Si-jun and finds him troubled. He confesses that he's been avoiding Ko Jae-am, fearing that his usual bluntness might end up hurting him. Elsewhere, Mubai keeps a silent watch on Ko Jae-am's house every night, but she never sees anyone inside. The next morning, she finally catches him sleeping in his car. He admits that he can't bring himself to go inside because there's nobody there anymore. But before Mubai can press further, he shifts into his cheerful persona, making her realize that he's not yet ready to fully open up. The day passes, and that night, she finds him in his car again, so this time, she quietly stays with him. The next day, Mubai temporarily moves in with Ko Jae-am, lying to her mother about working late. Elsewhere, Si-jun is dumbstruck to find out that a couple who had broken up is now getting married after many years. It leaves him with a lot to think about regarding his own relationship with Ju-ae. Meanwhile, Mubai returns home to find Ko Jae-am's house in total darkness. Panic sets in when she can't find him anywhere. When she finally does, relief washes over her, and through tears, she tells him he's not alone. They share a quiet, tender kiss. Elsewhere, Si-jun reminisces about his relationship with Ju-ae and realizes that someone had been encouraging his music online all this time. It was most likely Ju-ae. He steps outside and finds her waiting. The episode ends with him asking, "Are we over, or are we on our way back to each other?" In the epilogue, it's revealed that Si-jun had actually found out about Ko Jae-am living in his car and had been quietly leaving supplies for him. One day, Ko Jae-am finally approaches him, revealing that he had known all along. They head to a sauna together, their friendship silently reaffirmed. One of the most beautiful things about Melo movie is how it never explicitly states what the characters are feeling, it simply implies. Whether it's Ko Jae-am trying to hide that he's been living in his car, Si-jun struggling to express his concern in his own way, or Mubai taking a step forward but immediately stepping back when she senses Ko Jae-am isn't ready to share his pain, the show excels in its subtle storytelling. These small, quiet moments make Melo movie all the more emotionally resonant. This episode, in particular, revolves around grief and the pain of loss. It does an excellent job of portraying how deeply grief embeds itself into everyday life, how it lingers, creeping into even the most normal moments. There's no dramatic breakdown, no over-explanation, just a constant, aching presence, reminding us that loss doesn't just disappear. It becomes something you carry.